I'm 71 years old, and for 2 years I watched my son drain his savings to pay for his wife's cancer treatments. Jennifer claimed she had stage 4 breast cancer and needed experimental therapy costing thousands per month. My son sold his business, emptied his retirement, and took out loans to save her life. Then I followed Jennifer to one of her chemotherapy appointments and discovered she was actually getting her nails done at a salon. She'd been faking cancer for 2 years to steal money. I'm a retired nurse who worked in oncology for 35 years. This is how I exposed her fraud and saved my son. Subscribe now. Hit that bell for more shocking revenge stories. My name is Margaret Chen, and I'm 71 years old. 2 years ago, my daughter-in-law Jennifer told our family she had breast cancer. My son David was devastated. They'd been married for 8 years, and he loved her completely. Jennifer showed us medical documents, prescription bottles, and appointment cards. She said the cancer was aggressive, stage 4, and she needed expensive experimental treatment not covered by insurance. Each month cost $15,000. David didn't hesitate. He sold his construction business that he'd built over 20 years. He emptied their savings account, cashed out his retirement fund, and took out personal loans. Whatever it took to save Jennifer's life. I supported them however I could. I'm a retired oncology nurse who worked at Memorial Hospital for 35 years. I understood cancer treatment, so I helped Jennifer research options and accompanied her to some appointments. But something felt wrong. Jennifer never lost her hair despite claiming to get chemotherapy every week. Her skin looked healthy and glowing. She never seemed sick, never vomited, never lost weight. She said her doctors were amazed at how well she tolerated treatment. "Jennifer, which oncologist are you seeing?" I asked one day. "Dr. Harrison at City Medical Center. He specializes in experimental protocols." I knew every oncologist in the area from my nursing career. There was no Dr. Harrison at City Medical Center. I started investigating quietly. Jennifer claimed she went to treatment every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. David would drop her off at the medical center entrance and pick her up 3 hours later. She'd come out looking tired and weak, carrying medical paperwork. One Thursday, I followed her. Jennifer got out of David's car at the medical center entrance, waved goodbye, and walked inside. Then she walked straight through the building and out the back exit where a taxi was waiting. I followed that taxi to an upscale nail salon 15 miles away. Jennifer spent 3 hours getting a manicure, pedicure, and facial. Then she took another taxi back to the medical center, walked in through the back entrance, waited in the lobby for 10 minutes looking tired, and met David at the front entrance. She was faking everything. No cancer, no chemotherapy, no Dr. Harrison. She was spending David's money on luxury spa treatments while pretending to fight for her life. I didn't confront her immediately. I needed proof David would believe. Over the next 3 weeks, I documented everything. I followed Jennifer to 6 more treatment appointments. Every single time, she went to either the nail salon, an expensive day spa, or a luxury boutique shopping center. I also investigated her medical documents. The prescription bottles she showed us were real medications, but I called the pharmacy. They had no record of Jennifer ever filling prescriptions there. She'd bought empty bottles online. The medical center appointment cards were fake too. I compared them to real appointment cards from City Medical Center. The fonts were wrong, the logo was slightly off, and the phone numbers were disconnected lines. Jennifer had created an elaborate fake cancer scheme. Every piece of documentation was forged. Every appointment was fabricated. The only real thing was the money David had given her, which she was spending on herself. I also discovered that Jennifer had done this before. She'd been married twice before David. Both previous husbands divorced her after discovering financial fraud. One ex-husband told me Jennifer had faked a car accident injury to collect insurance money. The other said she'd forged documents to steal from his business. Jennifer was a serial con artist, and my son was her latest victim. I gathered all my evidence: photographs of Jennifer at the nail salon during chemotherapy appointments, fake prescription bottles, forged medical documents, bank statements showing David's money going into her personal account, and statements from her ex-husbands about previous fraud. Then I called a family meeting. David, Jennifer, and I sat in my living room. Jennifer had no idea what was coming. "Jennifer," I said calmly, "you don't have cancer, do you?" She looked shocked. "Margaret, how could you say that? I've been fighting for my life for 2 years." "No, you've been lying for 2 years." I followed you to your chemotherapy appointments. You went to nail salons and spas. I verified your medical documents. They're all fake. I contacted your previous husbands. You've done this before." David looked confused. "Mom, what are you talking about?" I handed him a folder containing all my evidence. Photographs showing timestamps and locations. Fake prescription bottles with pharmacy statements confirming no prescriptions were filled. Forged appointment cards compared to real ones. And bank records showing Jennifer transferring David's money to her personal accounts. "David, Jennifer has been faking cancer to steal your money. She sold your business, took your retirement, and made you go into debt for treatments that never happened. She spent that money on luxury shopping and spa treatments. Jennifer tried to lie. Those photos are out of context. I sometimes treat myself between appointments to stay positive. Jennifer, you've never had cancer. I'm a retired oncology nurse. I know what chemotherapy patients look like. I've verified with every oncologist in this area. None of them have ever treated you. Dr. Harrison doesn't exist." David examined the evidence carefully. His face went from confusion to shock to rage. "Jennifer, is this true?" She tried to cry and deflect, but David wasn't listening anymore. He'd seen the bank statements showing her transferring hundreds of thousands of dollars to hidden accounts. He'd seen the photographs proving she'd lied about her appointments. He'd seen statements from her ex-husbands confirming she'd committed fraud before. "Get out," David said quietly. "Get out of my house right now." Jennifer left that night. David filed for divorce the next morning and reported her to the police for fraud and theft. The investigation revealed that Jennifer had stolen over $600,000 from David over 2 years. She'd transferred most of it to offshore accounts and spent the rest on luxury items, expensive vacations she took alone, claiming they were medical retreats, and a secret apartment she rented downtown. The police charged Jennifer with multiple counts of fraud, forgery, theft, and identity theft for forging medical documents. The district attorney was furious that someone would fake cancer to steal money. "This is one of the most disgusting fraud cases I've ever seen," the prosecutor said. She exploited her husband's love and fear to rob him of everything. Jennifer's trial took place 8 months after I exposed her. The evidence was overwhelming. Prosecutors presented my photographs, fake medical documents, bank records, testimony from her ex-husbands, and statements from real oncologists confirming Jennifer had never been their patient. Jennifer's defense attorney tried to claim she had a mental illness that made her believe she had cancer. But the evidence showed she'd carefully planned everything. She'd researched oncology terms, created fake documents, established elaborate routines, and hidden money in offshore accounts. It was deliberate, calculated fraud. The jury convicted her on all charges. The judge sentenced her to 12 years in prison and ordered her to repay the full $600,000 she'd stolen. "Ms. Jennifer Walsh, you faked cancer to steal from your husband while he believed he was saving your life. You are a predator who exploits people's love and compassion. 12 years in prison." David was devastated emotionally but relieved financially. The court ordered Jennifer to return all the money she hadn't yet spent. We recovered about $300,000 from her hidden accounts. David used it to restart his business and rebuild his retirement. He thanked me with tears in his eyes. "Mom, you saved my life. I would have kept giving her everything until I had nothing left. I'm your mother. I protect my son." Jennifer thought she could fool everyone, but she forgot I spent 35 years working with real cancer patients. I know the difference between someone fighting for their life and someone lying for money. Jennifer is now 3 years into her 12-year sentence. David has moved on with his life, started dating a wonderful woman who genuinely loves him, and rebuilt his construction business successfully. I still volunteer at the hospital where I worked, helping real cancer patients navigate their treatment. Every patient I meet reminds me why I exposed Jennifer. Real cancer patients fight for their lives every day. Jennifer mocked their struggle to steal money. People sometimes ask if I feel guilty about sending my daughter-in-law to prison. The answer is no. She deserved every year of that sentence. She stole my son's life savings by faking a terminal illness. She's a con artist who preys on people's love and compassion. I'm 71 years old, a retired oncology nurse with 35 years of experience. I know what cancer looks like, and I know what fraud looks like. Jennifer learned that you can't fake cancer around someone who spent decades treating real patients. My son is free now, financially recovering and emotionally healing. Jennifer is in prison where she belongs, and I'm a grandmother who protected her family using knowledge earned over a lifetime of nursing. Jennifer thought age and motherhood made me naive. She learned that age brings expertise, and a mother's love is the most dangerous thing to underestimate. You don't con a nurse who knows your game better than you do. The end.